Please welcome the Head of Digital at Australian Retirement Trust, Callum Porch, and Experiences Practice Lead, Avanade, Dan Wilmot.
Hi everyone, I'm Callum Porch from Australian Retirement Trust, also known as ART or ART.
Hey everyone, Dan Wilmot from Avanade. And Callum, how good is it we're on stage here in Nashville at Symposium today?
Amazing. I'm a long-time listener, first-time attendee. I tell you who else is a first-time attendee? This blue monster. He's Artie. And just to put some of the rumours to bed, yes, he works in finance. He's over 6'5", does have blue eyes, and yes, theoretically has a trust fund. In all seriousness, you might be wondering what does super, a big blue monster, Artie, and your retirement dreams have in common. It's not a reoccurring nightmare yet, Dan.
You sure?
Super, which is a shortening for superannuation, as us Aussies like to do down under, is the Australian retirement savings system set up in 1992, where employers are required to make contributions on behalf of employees for their retirement. In the USA, you might think of it as a combination of your Social Security, 401k, and your IRA. The big blue monster Artie, he's our metaphor for superannuation, an embodiment of an individual's retirement wealth. It represents potentially one of the largest and biggest investments of your life, and the power you can have over your retirement future by getting on top of it. Hence, you could be sitting on a monster. Retirement dreams? Well, that's a bit of a longer story. Did you know that despite the compulsory nature of our retirement system down under, that 2 in 3 Australians don't necessarily feel like their super is in a good position for their age, according to our research? Furthermore, 4 in 5 say that they need at least some further educational support from their super fund, regardless of whether or not they feel on top of their super. I know, right? And yet we see that over half Australians aren't really engaged with their super at all. So we at Australian Retirement Trust are on a bit of a mission to help Aussies awaken their super and take charge of their future, recognising that many in super view super as something easy to ignore. We're struggling with differentiation and engagement in the sector, and so ART's really trying to challenge this perception. For most people, it's simply something provided for them. So they have low engagement, low understanding. They really miss that point that it could be the most powerful investment they ever have. But we've got plenty of challenges, don't we, Dan?
Loads of challenges. Sounds like the industry's got a lot of challenges as well. You threw out a fact about people rather seeing the dentist than engaging their super?
That's right, yeah. It's a dire state, isn't it?
Very concerning. Or I'm going to the wrong dentist.
Yes, maybe one.
But look, Avanade's been working with ART since before Artie was born. And for context, Callum, Artie really isn't that old, is he?
No, only this year he was brought to life,
Yeah.
even though we're over 100 years old as an organisation.
However, Avanade's engagement significantly predates Artie. We've been working with both funds prior to their mega merger, supporting across the digital landscape. So it's fair to say that we have history with ART. And Callum, to put in perspective, with that mega merger, how big globally is ART now?
Yeah, we're now seen as one of the largest pension funds in the world, if you define us like that. And in Australian dollars, we have over $300 billion under management for Australians.
So we're talking pretty big biscuits here.
Pretty big, just like Artie.
Yeah. We've also seen in this period that there's been significant change across the superannuation industry. And it's really impacted the way that the industry operates, and it's becoming increasingly B2C focused. This change has brought with it increased competitive pressures and member expectations on the way they engage and interact with their chosen funds, with all funds now in Australia really racing to win in the digital space. And this is where ART have really looked to create a differentiated digital capability in market. And having a clearly defined digital vision has been paramount in driving change within ART. However, building a compelling digital capability is far easier said than done, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It's been quite the journey over the last couple of years, and we're still on it. But what you can see up on screen here are the major principles we've used over the last couple of years to guide our efforts to engage more Australians. And so we can talk a bit about crushing complexity for our members by breaking that information that's quite complex at times down into little chunks and using clear digital cues to guide our members to more important information. We're trying to remove friction in that digital experience and demonstrating empathy to build that trust that you heard a bit about earlier in the earlier session and reinforce our credibility of ART. We want to inspire confidence for our members by taking every opportunity to maximise the ease and reduce hassle, and reminding members that we've made this easy and simple for them to engage with their superannuation. We want to empower action through helping members see the link between what they do today and the benefit for the future them, and the importance of taking action now rather than later. And lastly, we want to show them their future in the digital space by clearly signposting where an action is required and always telling members what's next, even if it might not be doing anything. So let me introduce you to Barb. She's 60. You know Barb pretty well, don't you, Dan?
Big fan of Barb.
Yep.
Big fan.
Yep. Like 55% of Australians, she feels underprepared for retirement. And Dan, spoiler alert, she is. She's got 2 adult children, probably one still living at home. Sound familiar, Dan?
Mine a bit young, but apparently it's a common challenge.
Yes. She's taken extended career breaks as a nurse to raise children and care for her parents. And so as a pre-retiree, she's increasingly anxious about what the future looks like and a little bit embarrassed about her situation, if we're going to be honest. As Dan mentioned, some people would rather talk to their dentist than their super fund. So over the last couple of years on Sitecore, we've built some amazing digital experiences which are making it easy for Barb to access and find the right level of detail for her, crushing that complexity, inspiring confidence about what to do next. We're building experiences that engage and bring to life their choices in retirement, where we inspire action and we show her future. And we've built guided experiences with visual cues and easy navigation so that when Barb does need some help, we're there for her to really remove that friction. So over the last couple of years, you asked what outcomes have we achieved on top of Sitecore for our members and with Avanade helping us? Well, we've refreshed or launched over 500 new educational pages on our websites in the last 2 years. That's almost a page every working day for our members. Not bad for a over 100-year-old financial services organisation. This has led to a 131% increase in our prominence across search engine category results. So now we're more present for our members when they are choosing to engage with us. Maybe on a Friday night when Barb's watching a rom-com.
She loves rom-coms, mate.
She does. And ultimately, that's it's led to a 20% increase in art.com.au website usage year on year, showing that we're on the journey to helping more Australians engage with their retirement. So what lessons have we learnt along the way? Well, whilst we're not done, we've got a few lessons if you want to do the monster mash, delivering for your members whilst also modernising your technology stack. First of all, don't go it alone. You're stronger together. Whether it's your internal stakeholders across your organisation, it's partners like Avanade, partners like Sitecore, and the composable ecosystem we've heard a bit about in the last couple of days, you're stronger together. Break the problem down. Don't try to eat the buffet all at once. Artie's pretty big, but no, don't eat the buffet all at once. And then lastly, tic-tac-toe on benefits. We've found a real sort of strength in balancing platform investment with the product investment on top. Dan, I said I've learnt 3 things, but there's probably some more things that you'd probably want to highlight.
Oh, look, you'd like to think that when 2 super funds merge together, there's going to be more than 3 things that, have really presented us as challenges. I think, some of the other big challenges that we saw as well were obviously, you had, double and in some cases triplicate systems operating the same utility and capability across the organisation. So we had to work very closely with you to define the right pathway forward. And, from our perspective as a partner, what really helped, in these efforts and keep us on track was ensuring that these key decisions were anchored, back to the key values of ART as an organisation, as well as, us as a business being able to draw a very clear line to ART's customer value propositions. We would use these principles, to help drive decisions, especially across those complex business and technical challenges. We haven't even touched on the operating challenges that you've had, but that's, I think, for another day.
That's another day.
And if we couldn't demonstrate that these principles were met, then it was back to the drawing board. But this didn't mean we always got to the right decision quickly. We did spend a considerable amount of time, and I'll underline the word considerable, debating the merits of staying on-prem versus moving to the cloud with Sitecore, didn't we, Callum?
Whoa. Easy, Tiger. Let's not air all our dirty laundry out here on stage. But it's been quite a challenging journey, as Dan mentioned. And what I hope we've shown you today is the power of enabling a business to build whilst transforming your underlying experience technology so that you can continue to inspire confidence and awaken futures. Thank you.
Thank you.